So welcome everyone in Heidi's beautiful executive district to jumping on today. I'm so happy to see you guys on. It's so cool that you have made the effort to jump on and have a listen and learn some stuff for your businesses. Now, I know a couple of you. Jackie, are you coming to AAC, hon? You're the only one I'm not too sure on. Sorry.
No, unfortunately, I couldn't afford to make it this year, but definitely aiming to be there next year.
Awesome. So cool. So cool. Just trying to get a bit of a knowledge on who's coming and the faces and stuff. So when I get down there, I'll know who's there and who's what. So I know you're coming. Hey, Lydia. No, you're not this year either. That's okay. That's all good.
Aww.
Trying to unmute while I'm driving. No, sorry, I can't come either.
Oh, that's okay. I thought you were coming for some reason, but that's okay.
Next year.
Yes. Yep. And next year, and breaking news, which is really awesome, every year after this year, we'll be on the Gold Coast. How cool is that? So it'll be much closer to home for all of us, so we won't have to hopefully fly anymore. And because there's so many of us, and the Gold Coast Convention Centre is so much bigger. So that's why that's going to happen. So no complaints here. It's 40 minutes from my house. So cool. Okay. Anywho, so what I wanted to talk to you guys today was the top 3 things that you need to have in your business. I'm not going to train out activities. I'm going to talk to you guys more from a mind frame angle, because iDesign's got all the training that you need. So I don't want to waste time and repeat myself on tiles and things that you can watch in there. So really familiarize yourself with iDesign. That'll give you all the tools and everything that you need to really run your business in terms of practical learnings and practical trainings and things like that. And it's an amazing, amazing tool. And I learned so much while I was over in New Zealand, how much everyone would love to have a piece of iDesign. So many other leaders are like, what are you guys doing? Your team is on fire. And it's 100% iDesign. So we're so fortunate to have that. What Cass has done in putting that together for us is honestly, it's magical. It's something we should be so appreciative of. So really utilize it, because people would give their right arm for it. I've actually even had someone ask me if they could pay for it to have a look at it, at what we're doing and things like that. And if they could pay to come into our team just so they could see our system. But she already had a team, so she didn't want to lose that team. She just wanted to see our system and if I would coach her with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. I can't do that. My team's way too special. They need every spare second of my time that I have. So anywho, I thought today I would train out my top 3 tips. And the first one of the biggest things in this business that I think is so important to have is persistence. And I love the saying, and I've written it down here: a river cuts through a rock, not because of power, but it's persistence. And it's so true. This isn't the type of business that you go and work until your knuckles are bleeding. It's not a hard, energetic, like that type of work. It's a persistence thing that you have to do. It's a constant effort. And I remember a training once with Cecilia Stoll, and Sheila Green, and she was talking about her upline called her for 2 years before she joined the business. 2 years. And she said, I found her pleasantly persistent. I never found her annoying. I just thought, man, this woman is persistent. She just wants to keep talking to me, and she'd keep saying, well, can I call you back again next month and just see if your situation's still the same? And she was like, you can, but I'm never joining that. And then one day she called and she's like, okay, my situation's changed now and I actually do need something. So, it is quite amazing what can happen in one day in Arbonne world. For me, I remember, in all honesty, I dropped out of the business in January last year. Yep, January last year. And I just thought it just wasn't for me. I'd been trying. I'd been planting seeds. And then I just couldn't let it leave my mind. I was still thinking about it and pottering on it and scrolling through news feeds and thinking to myself, I wish this business could work for me. And then see people writing about momentum, and I'd be like, why can't I have any momentum? Why can't it come into my business too? I remember feeling exactly the same. And then my phone went off, and it was Lydia, a girl that I had contacted when I very first started the business, and it took her nearly 12 months to contact me just for a business appointment because she was interested in the business. So it really having that persistence, and your Facebook is the window to your business. It's how people will view what you're doing in Arbonne land. So just be pleasantly persistent on there. You don't want to look like you're coming and going all the time. People follow people who know where they're going. So look committed and have that persistence about what you're doing, that, you know, you're constantly on a mission to do it, and, you know, you're only as big as the problem that stops you. So don't let them know. Just let the water off your back. You know, when I hear a no, it makes me happy because I feel productive because I've offered the business, which is all our job is. That's it. It's all how you view it, you know. I've got it written down in my next lot of pages, but I'll just jump a few steps here. I love when we were over in GTC, one of the trainings they gave us was write out 3 columns. One's a yes, one's maybe, and one's no. And put everybody you know into the maybe column. And I mean everybody on Facebook, people you might have just met downtown, people you might have just met at a netball game or at your Pilates class or whatever networking activities you're involved in. Write them down. Think about who they might know as well. And the idea is to get everybody out of the maybe list into a yes or a no. Our no is a big fat tick. You've done it. That's the business. We just need to filter through everybody and just offer them the business, the products, a tote drop, a presentation, just something to do with the business, whether a sample pack, anything to just, bring Arbonne into their lives in some way. So, what are you driven by? Like, knowing why you're here in this business is what's going to be able to keep you persistent. It's not easy to stay focused on something when you get a few knockbacks in a row if you don't know what's driving you. So for me, when I first joined the business, it was financial freedom. I joined this business not knowing too much about the products at all, to be honest. I just loved the business plan and the idea that I could make a lot of money, and I needed to make some money. So that's why I dived in. Now, however, what drives me is totally different. I love the feeling of helping other people succeed in this business and reach that financial freedom as well. When I get texts from people saying, thank you so much for this amazing business, I could just put my daughter in netball and I haven't been able to afford to do that for 2 years. It's like, oh, that is the best thing ever. And that drives me to know that this business is the best. I love it so much for that. So, everyone's driven by something different, but really connect with what it is that drives you and have it written out so you can see it. I know some people even just have little yellow love heart post-it stickers and they stick them all around their house. And when they see it, it's just for them to remember why they started, what's in their heart of hearts, why they're here and what they want out of it. Because like that saying goes, you're only as big as the problem that stops you. That BITCH at that party that might have been a little bit rude to you is nowhere near as big as your why you're here. It doesn't even come remotely close. Just wash that off. Doesn't matter. Because, when you start to get in that mind frame, you are completely unstoppable in what you're going about. When you realize that you can and that no one's going to stop you, you just go out about it. It's amazing what happens when you reach that moment. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was your commitment to the business. And the fact that you're on the call today is so awesome, the commitment to learning. I say it all the time, this is not a business you can pull out your backside, and it's so true. You can't just wing it. It's something you need to learn. Like anything, a doctor doesn't just walk in one day and perform open heart surgery. That takes him like 6 years of constant hardcore study to be able to work out how to do that. Network marketing takes a couple of years, and it's what's so great about it is you learn as you go and you get paid as you go. So, the more activity you do, the more you learn. You kind of count your Arbonne like a pilot. You know how a pilot counts how long they've been a pilot by how many hours they've been in the sky? When people say, I've been in Arbonne for 6 years, I think, I wonder how much of that you've actually been in activity though, because that's how long you've been an Arbonne consultant. Do you know what I mean? And that's where it puts people where they are at the end of the day, in terms of rankings and things like that. Is just they've just done more activity. They've just spoken to more faces. I can guarantee you I've heard more yeses than you guys because I've heard 1,000 more no's. So many no's. And they just do not bother me, because if I hear 10 no's in a row, I know my yes is close. It's just fact. It's just statistics. I'm coming up to it. I have to be, because I've just heard 10 and the 1 out of 10 is my stat. So it has to be coming. And it's so worth it when you get that yes. It's so worth all the no's. So yes, where am I up to here? The difference between a consultant and a vice president is just their commitment level. It's so easy to stay committed to something when it's working. Okay, anyone can do that. a 5-year-old kid can stay committed to something when it's working. It's when it starts to challenge you and it's not working, that's when it'll push your commitment, and that's when it'll push your persistence. And if you can push through that, that's when a vice president's born. That's when you start to reach financial freedom, and you'll start to reach goals that you didn't even realize were inside of you that you could start to achieve. And don't be afraid of failure. Failure is a massive step forward in every single sense. If you go to an Arbonne party and you don't, or you do a tote drop or something like that, and you stuff up, which will happen. It's happened to me. I remember walking out going, "Oh, why did you say that? I reckon she would have signed up if I didn't say that." And there's no point beating yourself up about that. Next time, I had less anxiety when I was going to do my next tote drop or my next party. I knew what not to say. I just worked that out because I'd done a big old foot in mouth. You work it out, and it's success in every sense of the word. It's progress in every sense of the word, because you're learning and you're growing from that. So don't be afraid to fail, because it just means you're putting yourself out there and you're getting stuff done. Like when, to test your commitment, have that list done by today. Do little things that will test your commitment, because that's when the thing about this business, the best thing is you don't have a boss. The worst thing is you don't have a boss. You got no one to answer to. If you don't feel like doing it, you don't have to. It's totally up to you. So that's where the commitment really comes into it. And you have to, once again, I'm a sticky note person, and I write things on my mirrors, and you'd probably think I was a crazy person if you come into my house and seen what I have written around. But it's what keeps me committed and on focus. Otherwise, I get off with the fairies so easily, and I'll be distracted and watch TV for 4 hours and then realise, hang on, I'm on a mission, if I don't have something up there to remind me what I'm doing it all for. Okay, so where else am I up to? Sorry, I've got my notes here, and that's for your sake, not mine, so that I don't talk for 5 hours. It keeps me on track. Be committed to learning, because not only everything I just said about why it's so great to learn, but it's also your fuel. If I went and pulled up at the petrol station here in Brisbane and got the best fuel and the best serving and gave my car, it was ready to rock, it's still not going to get me to Western Australia. I'm still going to have to stop at multiple stops and refuel. And that's the same as learning. It's the same as getting your inspiration, watching your audios, doing your personal development. It's your fuel. You literally cannot keep moving without it. Well, I know personally I can't. If I go a couple of days without personal development, my husband can tell in my attitude. I can tell in the way that I'm not hungry for success anymore. I start to convince myself that it doesn't matter if I have it or not, and all these things that are against everything I believe. The moment I pick up that book and hop back down and refuel myself, I'm like an Energizer battery. I'm like ready to go. I've got all this energy, and I'm positive, and I know I can do it. And, all these things come from that. I remember thinking, I wonder how Cassandra House has all her energy, and I wonder how Kelly is so positive. And it's just personal development. They choose to do that every day for their business, for them, for who they are, for many, many, many different reasons. But they don't go a day without that, and that's just where it gets you. The compound effect of what that does, reading a little bit of personal development every day, creates the best version of you, and people are attracted to that like a magnet. I've had someone join my business and say to me here in my kitchen, I want to join Arbonne. And I was like, we haven't even spoke about Arbonne. And I was like, oh, okay, where did that come from? And she goes, I just haven't heard you speak like this ever. I just want a bit of whatever you're on, because you're just so positive and bubbly, and you've never been like this. You guys have all known me like this forever since I've been in Arbonne, but before Arbonne, I was nowhere near this bubbly person, personally happy, goal-driven person. That come from much personal development and training and things like that to really bring out the best version of me. And I'll forever be grateful to Arbonne for that, because I would have never picked up a personal development book if I didn't join this business. I remember thinking when I first joined and they were offering me the books and telling me this, I remember thinking, oh my God, they're trying to brainwash me. They're trying to make me read all this stuff and play audios in my car, and I don't want to do that. What is this stuff? And then, I finally let my guard down and started doing it all, and I was like, this just makes me feel amazing. It just makes you so positive and grateful and see the world in a different light, which is so important outside of Arbonne anyway. It's such a great thing to do. The third thing I wanted to talk about, and this is kind of the golden ticket in Arbonne, is to never ever compare yourself to others or your journey to anybody else's. Everyone's journey in Arbonne is completely unique and different. I love so much how Stuart Armfield says, I don't know if any of you guys have heard his journey, but it took him 12 months to get to district manager. And then his 3 consultants sent their products back and he demoted and lost his district. He's a nation now, so he just refused to quit. He was so determined to make it work. He's the funniest chap you've ever heard from. He's hilarious. He's over from the UK, and I remember on one of his recordings, he's like, we don't all just fly to the top like Cassandra House. Like, she's an amazing superstar, but who can relate to her? Lots of people can relate to me if they are struggling in the business. And it's true, there are people who just get stuff and run and do it like Cass and are very, very committed and persistent from the beginning. Other people need to train themselves. These things are all skills because they can be learned. And other people, and people like me especially, I needed to train myself how to adapt to these things because they didn't just come naturally to me. So it took me a little bit longer and I had more hurdles and things to overcome within me. But once I started to overcome them, it started to fall into place just like it did for her as well, which is pretty cool. But you never want to log on and see your QV as your self-worth or anything like that because this business is such a journey, and just because someone else done it a bit faster than you doesn't mean by any means that they're better than this at you. It just means they're getting their ducks in a row a bit faster and things are happening for them. But if you're persistent and you're committed, I can guarantee you it will happen for you as well. It just will. It's inevitable. Now, where else am I up to? Oh, I love this so much. This is just a little quote I wrote down about not comparing yourself. When we're born, God doesn't say, okay, put that person in the great basket and that person, they're going to be average, put them in the average basket, and that person, well, they're not going to go anywhere, so put them in the going nowhere basket. It just doesn't work like that. We're all exactly the same. We're all born the same. We all have the same amount of greatness within us. It's just our choices and what we do that determine where we end up. That's all it is. So just know that if you want to end up in that great basket, you totally can. If I can end up in a VP basket, you totally can. Trust me, I'm the most average country girl, everyday chick you've ever met in your life. I can guarantee it. I got 2 little rugrats and a husband, and I just am very committed to this business, and I know what it can do for us. And that's the only difference, is that I'm very disciplined in my learnings and getting out into activity and things like that. And I just one last quote I'll finish on before I'll open up for questions is, and this is from Jim Rohn. Who loves Jim Rohn? I love Jim Rohn. He is amazing. If you've never listened to him before, straight after this recording, you need to Google him and download some of his recordings because they are amazing. And he said, remember, you don't get what you want out of life, you get what you are. If you want to attract phenomenal people into your life, then you have to be phenomenal. Get out and be the best consultant on your team. And it's so, so true. It's just Arbonne in a nutshell. Commit yourself to a higher standard. I'm going to raise the bar for me because I deserve it. So yeah, so unmute yourself so that it's not so quiet and shoot some questions at me.
I didn't know if I was muted that whole time.
Oh, that's okay. I couldn't.
I started laughing shit, was I muted?
It's all good. I couldn't hear any. Only because sometimes you'd be surprised what happens in the background of people's homes sometimes, and I'm trying to do a recording and coach out, and then this ear screeching noises come in, and the internet starts going all staticky and things like that, and it ruined. You can't hear the end of the recording, so that's the only reason I do that. But yeah,
a child comes running in.
Yeah, that's usually my end. But yeah, do you girls have any questions for me that you want to ask?
Mine's not a question. Mine's more of a statement. But that little training thing you posted on Danny's Nation page this morning.
Yes.
The one on that related to the Eric Worre teachings.
Yes.
Yeah. I love the part at the end where she said everyone sucks at the start. And I was like, oh, that's great. It just made me laugh. I'm just like, everybody sucks at the start of this. And I'm thinking, okay, that's good. That's encouraging.
It's so true.
So, anyway.
Oh, Heidi, it's good to see you.
I love how Jim Rohn says in network marketing, in the beginning, you make up in numbers what you lack in skill. And it's so true. You have to ask a lot more people and get out there a lot more because you're lacking the skill and the ability to, who was it? Jim Rohn that said he was talking to a guy and he does very well network marketing, and his stats are like he does 7 out of 10 people he speaks to join the business, and Jim Rohn was getting 1 out of 10. And Jim Rohn said, I'll guarantee you I'll get more by the end of the month than you though. And this guy's like, how do you get that? I get 7 out of 10 and you get 1 out of 10. And Jim Rohn's like, because I'm going to ask that many more people than you are to get them in. So yeah, and by the time you do that, your skills up, but it's so true. We all suck in the beginning. I did. I remember thinking, and it's just, it's just something that we learn. I don't know. Wouldn't go as far as we suck. I think we got some good things going about us.
I suck.
You do. Oh, I think
I suck. Sorry, I'm joking. Sorry. Too far. Lydia's like, who is this crazy girl? And he's got
oh my gosh, it's recording. Remember, my love.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. Oh no! Oh my god!
I don't know if I can cut the end off, but I'll have a play with it and see. Oh my gosh, that's funny. But yes,
that's why I don't go on these calls.
No, it's fine.
Live.
It's the whole idea of it is that we can get, bond with each other and get to know each other a little bit better. And we all know Amy now. Oh, but yeah, is there any other questions? Does anyone have any other questions they want to add? No.
No, I'm pretty good. It's that I think you were wondering about business appointments, like exactly what we need to take and stuff to make sure that we've all got enough in our kits and stuff. Because I know Stacey put a thing on your page on what she takes, but I'm not sure exactly what all you beautiful girls, what you actually have in your kit when you do your business appointments with consultants. Because I think you mentioned something that you might. We're going to check that or something. We're going to see what all us girls had. Make sure we're prepared when we do business appointments.
Yeah, that's it. Being prepared for things is so important in this business. You don't want to get to someone's house and start doing a business appointment and then realise you're missing key things that they're asking to see. So that video that Stacey put up is brilliant, Hides. If you want to find that and just tag a couple of your team in it so that they can see what to take along to a business appointment. But before I do it, I'm prepared for my party the day before it with my bags filled with stuff. So, every night when I get up in the morning, I think of things I've forgotten that I need to add to the bag without fail. If I had packed it at that moment, I would have forgotten. And there's nothing worse than getting there and then going, oh no, I forgot pens. Do you have any pens? Oh, I forgot washers. Do you have any washers? It just doesn't look good. It just looks a bit, all over the place. You want to look prompt and have everything and know what you're doing and be really ready to go. It makes such a difference and it makes such a nice professional impact. And the thing with that too is whatever you do, if someone there's interested in joining your business, they're going to copy exactly what you did. So you want to get there and do the best party that you can do. Get there and really give 100% because they're going to copy that exact party when they do their presentations. This business is such a duplication thing. Whatever you do, they'll do. So true.
Do you have any key things that you could quickly mention, Danny, that what you take when you go to sign a brand new consultant, like what you always make sure is exactly in your little pack that you take to sign a consultant, a brand new consultant, like when she's choosing her packs or you take a success plan. Would you be able to just list off a couple little things that you always take with you to make sure?
I always take an iDesign manual. I always take my laptop. I take the Lemonade slides in case the internet's not working there and I have issues with my laptop so that I've still got a slideshow I can go through with her. That's if I'm doing a business appointment that I'm very confident is going to sign up on that day, I'll take, your iDesign manual and stuff. You don't show the manual until they've actually signed up. So take your Lemonade so that they can see each pack and help them choose a pack. Try to encourage them to just choose a pack. It's so easy and so duplicatable for them to then sign another consultant themselves when they just chose a pack and they're just going to show the next consultant how to choose a pack. When you start getting into making packs and swapping so many products in and out and things like that, you start to get this crazy signing up that takes a very long time, and it's very, very draining instead of just choose a pack, bang, let's key it in. And then forms are so easy to key it in. It's like put this in the purchase, put this in the host rewards, put this in your freebies, this in your business aids, done, checkout. It's like done in 20 minutes, the whole pack. So I do that, and then I sit there and fill out their iDesign registration form. So I have that printed out and ready to go. And I have the phone number there for the Lemonates pack. And I bring the Lemonates pack up and order their pack, have the iDesign form there so that that's filled out and sent off. So they're straight onto iDesign. And then I flip through their iDesign manual with them, which is the first 7 days, and just explain what's in there as well. Yeah. And then they're ready to rock. And then when their Lemonates pack comes, they know their iDesign manual's coming, that they're going to be able to fill out. And in the meantime, they can get straight onto iDesign and start watching trials while they're waiting for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
No worries. Oh, all right, lovely. Well, I might love yous and leave yous. I can hear my kids running up and down the hallway out here to go out and start to get their dinner and stuff organised. But if you have any more questions, though, fire them at me before I go. Pretty good?
I think I'm just going to stay quiet.
You're all right, darling. Oh, that's funny. It's been so nice to see you guys. This was the first hub training, so kudos to you. Thanks so much for jumping on. It's been so cool to see you guys. So nice to see you in person, Jackie and Lydia. I've spoken to you guys on the phone, but I've never actually seen you in person. So very cool to see you. And I've seen you, Hides and Ames, many times in person, but so nice to see you again. And, yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Go out and smash your lists and get it all happening. And you know what? You'll be amazed how productive you feel to just take out what's in here and put it onto a piece of paper. Already it's like you just feel like you've taken a big brick out of your head that you've been carrying around because it's so heavy. And once it's out, you feel like so much lighter. Yeah. But, yeah, awesome.
I was just going to say, we'll be doing these every fortnight, yeah, Dan?
Yeah, every fortnight at 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome stuff. All right, ladies, have an awesome weekend. And
Thanks, Jenny.
I'll see you soon.
Thanks,
You too.
Thank you.